Okay, great. Good morning also from my side. My name is Madeleine Schneider. I'm part of the EUCF team, and I'm working for the public policy consultancy at DFI in Berlin. And I'm going to present you now an overview of the application and evaluation process of the EUCF.
Excuse me, Madeleine, we do not see it full screen though. We see it
okay.
presentation mode, yeah.
Okay, I will try to change that. Okay. Okay, yeah. one second. Yeah.
You have the button underneath with the screen, the divided screen underneath on the left side. You have the pen. Yeah, if you underneath.
Here.
No, I think it's the other one on the right side of that one. Yeah. You have to choose full screen view, not share view.
Okay, wait, I will try now again because I think now it works, right?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So sorry for that. Yeah, so I will give you now an overview of the application and evaluation process. Most of you might already know that the application procedure consists of two main steps. So the eligibility check and the full application. So first, in the eligibility check, the applicants have to answer to 5 requirements with yes to be able to move to the next stage. So it's a simple automatic check which can be directly filled online. Then in the next stage, the applicants are able to register to the EUCF website user zone and then complete the full application and the supporting documents and submit them directly online. And then when the call is closed, all applications will be evaluated based on 5 evaluation criteria. And the best scored applications will receive EUCF support and conclude the grant agreements. The unsuccessful applications are then able to resubmit the applications in one of the next calls. And we will now have a closer look at some details. So who is eligible for EUCF support? As I just said, the eligibility check is part 1 of the application process, and applicants need to fulfill the following requirements. So first, the EUCF is addressed to municipalities and local authorities, to grouping of municipalities and local authorities, and since the second call now, also local public entities aggregating municipalities and local authorities. And they need to be located entirely in the EU 27 member states and in the UK. And as we heard before, from the second call onwards, also the EAFTA states of Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway are included in the geographical coverage of the EUCF. Moreover, the applicants need to have a politically approved sustainable energy action plan, sustainable and climate action plan, or a plan of similar ambition. And they need to provide proof of political commitment through a letter of support signed by the mayor or other relevant political representative. Finally, the applicants need to commit to the EUCF monitoring period of 2 years, which means that 2 simple monitoring forms need to be completed during the implementation of the investment concept. So once the eligibility check has been successfully passed, the applicants register to the EUCF website user zone and are able to complete the online application form, which consists of a set of questions, which I will show you more on the next slide. And in addition, they also need to submit supporting documents, 6 in total. So first, the SEAP, CECAP, or plan of similar ambition needs to be submitted in order to show that the applicant has an overall climate and energy strategy in place. And plan of similar ambition, what does it mean? It means that it's a plan that is also politically approved and has energy and climate targets at least for the year 2020. In addition to the plan, also a summary of the plan needs to be submitted to provide an overview of the climate and energy targets established in the plan. Moreover, a letter of support and a self-declaration form needs to be completed. The self-declaration form for these two templates are available, one for the municipalities and groupings and one for the local public entities. I will go into that a little later. And then Annex D and Annex E, the calculation logs to estimate the energy savings or renewable energy production and investment size needs also to be submitted. So in total, these 6 supporting documents must be submitted to be considered in the evaluation process. And except for the first, Annex A1, all others need to be submitted in English. So the plan, Annex A1, can also be submitted in national language. In order to facilitate this, also templates are provided by the EUCF, which must be used for submission. And there are also explanatory videos to also facilitate this process. Here you can see the overall structure of the application form. So it consists of a set of questions and is structured into 3 sections. My colleague Pavel will afterwards go into more details what is new in the second call, but just overall for you to consider that please the application form needs to be submitted in English. And please also consider that all components asked in the questions are also addressed in the responses. So in the application form, the applicants are also asked to explain how the EUCF grant is intended to be used. So the EUCF grant is provided to beneficiaries to support the activities necessary for the investment concept development. So the grant can be used either for in-house staff, if internal capacities are sufficient, or for external experts, or for other positions necessary for investment concept development. Activities that can be used, that can be funded with the grant are, amongst others, feasibility studies, legal analysis, and financial analysis. Applications by groupings are highly encouraged by the EUCF. So groupings of municipalities and local authorities can be formal or informal. They just need to define one lead applicant. And either the lead applicant or the grouping itself need to have an energy and climate plan with at least for the year 2020. As the EUCF especially supports small and medium-sized municipalities, applications by groupings are appreciated in the evaluation process. And if the application is successful, the grant amount is awarded to the grouping as a whole. In addition, as we heard before, also applications by local public entities aggregating municipalities and local authorities are possible. So these entities may vary from country to country, but they need to confirm with the eligibility 3 points that are stated in the self-declaration form in Annex C. Namely, they need to are officially recognized as a tier of local government. They need to be composed only by municipalities and local authorities. And they need to have a specific political and administrative structure. So you can have a more detailed look at the self-declaration form Annex C on the website where you can find it. In addition, local public entities require an own politically approved CEAP, CECAP, or plan of similar ambition that covers their geographical area, and they are not able to apply as groupings. Overall, you can also find a non-exhaustive list of example entities that are eligible from different countries on the EUCF website or in the guidelines. So once the call for applications is closed, all applications are evaluated by the evaluation team. And each application is evaluated individually by 2 evaluators. So first, they verify if all supporting documents have been submitted and if they require the adequate content. And if this is not the case, the application cannot be further considered and the applicants are informed. Next, all remaining applications are then evaluated based on 5 evaluation criteria, and they receive a score ranging from 0 to 5. And the quality threshold for each criterion is 3 points. So that means for each criterion, at least 3 points need to be achieved to be able to receive EUCF support. Finally, when the evaluation is concluded, all applicants receive a feedback report in the EUCF website user zone, stating the total score of the application, the overall feedback, and also now new in the second call, feedback per criterion. So that's from my side, and I pass now over to Pavel for the EUCF website user zone.
Thank you, Madeleine. Just to be sure, can you hear me?
Yes, Pavel, and we see your screen.
Great, okay. So I will follow Madeleine's presentation just by showing some details on the EUCF website user zone application, which we use to collect and keep all information related to all projects and submitted applications. My name is Pavel Sitny. I'm from Enviros, the international consulting company in energy and environment based in Prague. And we are also responsible for the application and setup and maintenance of the web application for this program. As you have heard, all the projects which goes through the EUCF program are handled by a single methodology, and they also in the system they follow similar project journey. Now today I will focus on mainly on 2 steps of the journey, where the applicants first check their eligibility, and then successful applicants who pass the eligibility check continue with the preparation of and submission of application. So the eligibility check step consists of 2 sub-steps. First of all, it's the eligibility check itself. In this sub-step, the applicants or potential applicants are asked to answer 5 simple questions, which show and also help them to understand whether they are ready for application in EUCF program. The applicants who are not able to answer 5 times yes to these questions are kindly forwarded to EUCF help desk, where they can discuss in more detail these requirements. The applicants who pass this eligibility check are then welcome and they are offered to register to EUCF website user zone. As you have already heard in the second EUCF call, there are 2 different types of applicants who are eligible to prepare the application. In the first call, there were only municipalities, local authorities, or their groupings eligible. But now in this second call, also local public entities, aggregating municipalities or local authorities are also welcome to prepare and submit the application. These two groups are identified by slightly different information, while the municipalities and local authorities are still giving us the information related to like country, NUTS-3 and law codes as their information which uniquely identify themselves. The local public entities are asked to select country, NUTS-3, and then give us the tax identification number or its equivalent. As you can see in this slide, which is the screenshot of the registration form from the system, there in the red rectangle there is the selection of municipalities of the type of the applicant. So you select either municipality or public entity, and based on this selection, the registration form is slightly adjusted to collect the information related to the type of applicant. So here I will also want to stress that the applicants who have already registered to EUCF website user zone doesn't have to pass the eligibility check and registration. They can directly log into the system with their current login details. So after the registration, all applicants who registered their users in the registration form receive the email with login details, and then they also receive the link to the login page where they can enter the login details and log into the system. After login to the system, all applicants can settle or create new application form where they will give or provide all the information related to their project, and after filling all the details and attaching the attachments, the documents requested to the application, they submit the application for evaluation. I only want to explain or stress that the new application can be created only by local admin users. So in registration, you select, applicants select one user who is the leader of the application, or how to say it, and this user gets also the local admin rights, which means that they can start or they can create new application, and they also can themselves administer other users who can then participate on preparation of the application. The application form itself has been changed slightly in several things in comparison with the previous call. Of course, the type of applicant is there present as the information, but I have to stress that it cannot be changed after registration. So every applicant has to select the correct type of their account. We also introduced one more part to the application form, where we are asking applicants to give us and select the main investment sector in which the project on which the project is focused. Then also the expected renewable energy production field has been introduced to the application form, and every application is expected to provide either the information on energy saving or expected production amount of energy from renewable energy sources. It is also possible to give both figures, but applications without this information are not eligible for submission. Then, in order to make the application form more understandable, there on the application form are direct links to annexes, to templates, which all applicants are expected to use. Then we also added some more explanatory notes based on experience from previous call. And as Madeleine mentioned, also we introduced the link to audio-video books where applicants can get detailed information on the preparation of application. As Madeleine mentioned, the application form consists of several sections. I will not go into detail. I have not enough time for it, but I hope everything is straightforward. And also, I want to invite you to use the help desk, which provides answers to your questions, and we can also help you in this way. So basically, the query form for the submission of query to help desk looks like this. You select or put your email. Already registered users have already pre-filled the email address. And then you can just submit your query, and this query is immediately answered by our team of EUCF helpdesk team. So this is from my side all for now. I'm ready to answer your questions later.
Thank you very much, Pavel, and thank you very much, Madeleine, for your previous presentation. So now we move on with some of the experiences from the first round beneficiaries of the EUCF. This session is intended to be a sharing of information and best practices, and lessons learned, and experiences from again 3 of the cities that benefit from the first are benefiting currently from the first round of application of the EUCF. I will call Mr. João Diniz from the city of Cascais to take the floor and share his presentation. Thank you, João. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I do hope you're hearing me well. Can you hear me well?
Yes, João.
Okay, thank you. So I've got the presentation in full screen, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to share our experience with everyone in other application cities. Let me know if you have any question. Feel free to interrupt me at any given time, but I will make this as swift as possible. So, well, welcome to Cascais. We are a municipality located in the outer skirts of the Lisbon metropolitan region. We are a very well-known tourist destination with one of our, about 1/3 of our protected landscape occupying the whole municipality area. So this is a unique heritage for us. We obviously are actively engaged in climate action, both on mitigation and adaptation, because we are already seeing some of these effects that were never seen before in our municipality. So we do hope that this initiative actually helps us to reach our mitigation goals. So why are we here? When did this all start? Like many of the cities here, we are also members of the Covenant of Mayors, but we've started working together on climate action about 12 years ago. We did a strategic plan for climate change where we defined a few strategies for both mitigation and adaptation. But in 2017, we had to define the Cascais Climate Change Adaptation Action Plan. So action drives us a bit more forward, a bit more tangible into where we want to go. And we've made this within the scope and the goals of the Sustainable Development Goals by the UN, but also the Paris Agreement. And finally, in 2020, we have developed the carbon neutrality route 2050. So this is probably the most ambitious plan that we have so far regarding mitigation. And we really want to reach it by that date. So this last one is indeed the scope, the political assessment, where we define our application of the European City Facility. And so, like I mentioned, we already have a lot of initiatives implemented. We have 56 to be more precise, and they range from urban planning, from energy cogeneration, from biodiversity preservation, from district heating and cooling methodologies, and so on. So there's many things that we're doing simultaneously, and hopefully we can reach out for carbon neutrality soon. So like I said, there is the necessity to engage everyone. So not only the private stakeholders, but the citizens, because this is a transformative element for our society. So this transition, as we know, really defines the challenges of what we have in front of us. So Cascais is a very, I would say, familiar and similar energy, has a very similar energy matrix regarding other cities. So half of our emissions are related to transportations. And I would say that about a quarter is domestic emissions related to energy usage in our homes. And 19% is about services and commerce. So the industry in Cascais is just a very small percentage. So where should we act? Obviously, we should act on transportation, but also on households and energy consumption as well, especially because we are on the verge of changing our reality regarding mobility with the electrification of the mobility. So that's a big element that people tend to forget. They think that the baseline will continue or will at least be stable for a couple more years, but it won't, because we will be demanding a lot more from our energy grid because of that. So, like I said, we envision this reduction of emissions. Like you can see on the bottom graphic in yellow, we call it the yellow jersey scenario, which is when we have to reach those goals of neutrality. And we foresee that by 2030, we will reach a significant reduction, probably the most abrupt reduction of all. And this is very important for our presentation. So like I said, because transportation is already so heavy on our emissions, we're actively working on that. We are the first Portuguese city that is engaging with public free transportation. So you only have to buy a yearly car that costs around €7, and you can use all the public transportation, buses, trains, etc. within Cascais, but also rent bicycles, also use our charging points and so on. So there's a lot of innovation that we are driving here, and we want to bring it a bit more. So on this goal, what we are trying to do is, the first one is that we're trying to shorten the gap between us citizens and the stakeholders, and make sure that the new available technology is adopted by everyone. We want this positive feedback to be generated, impulses of positivity for others to assess and to use this technology. And like I said before, we must have a tangible result on everything. So this is mostly financial and environmental. If families don't see any benefits from themselves financially, they will probably not adapt to these technologies. So we have to create incentives. We have to create schemes that promotes this transition. So we have to engage everybody. This is not something that we just put on a shop shelf and then people will buy it. No, we have to engage with citizens to do all this. So we want to make sure that on this call that we've made, and on the carbon neutrality, we would like to promote energy communities. So energy communities is a concept that's already all over Europe, but in Portugal, it is very recent. We could have a very interesting discussion as why a country with so much sun, with so many hours per year of sun available, why aren't we already having this? So that's let's call it a social political conversation that we should have. But nevertheless, we are here now, and let's take advantage of what we have. So we have to make sure that we promote these solutions on our urban planning, on our regulations, and also to have kind of like an energy store to make sure that people can come in and clarify the questions and find out what the best solutions that they have. So all these are ideas that we were already developing a few years ago. So our carbon neutrality route is intended to reduce from 500 kilotons of CO2 emissions per year into only 15. This is quite an achievement if we are able to achieve this by 2050, and we have to, because it's mandatory by law, and it's according to this plan that I mentioned that was approved in the municipal assembly. So as you can see on those different colors on those graphs over there, this is what we want to reach. So the blue color is the reduction of transportation, but also at, let's say, a similar relevance is the stationary energy. So this is something that we should definitely tackle first. And here they are. So we want to make sure that we have the promotion on these two. So we have stationary energy and transportations. Let's not forget, obviously, forest sequestration and waste and water reduction, because we definitely need to have that. And you know, waste does produce a lot of emissions as well. So we have to definitely make sure that we use on stationary energy, renewable endogenous sources, and transportations on electrification and other alternative fuels, which, by the way, we started last week to do a pilot case with a private partner, and it's going really well. So how does this merge with the European City Facility? Well, European City Facility does support the development of a concept and financial assessment for energy transition. So this is definitely something that we foresaw right from the start, that this could definitely help us from being a general broad action that we should be implementing into something that we will be implementing. Okay, so if we are able to mobilize stakeholders during a very short period of time, which will be 12 months, and if we ensure the financial and development concept by the European City Facility, we can definitely have an upgrade on our regulations and our financial opportunities for this. So this is a perfect fit for the carbon neutrality route that we all have to comply sooner or later, either by international or national law, but sooner or later it will hit us. So where does this drive us? This drives us to the stationary energy action set. So we have these three which are considered the most relevant. We have to create incentives, for example, to reduce the use of gas or electricity on acclimatization of our houses. We have to end the use afterwards, totally reduce the use of gas in our households. And finally, 185 megawatts, megawatts, sorry, of solar community programs. So this is where we are focusing our action on this. So 185 megawatts is significant. It's something that we are well assessed of, and we are aware that we have enough sun to provide us with that power. So why aren't we doing this already? Basically, that's the question that we should ask. So like I said, we are going to do a very complete usage of this fund with the Europe and collaboration with the European City Facility. We're going to develop a market analysis. We're going to develop the one-stop shop. So that's when I mentioned the shop where citizens can go there and ask their own questions, and their own questions will help us to forward a strategy to comply with eventual needs that someone might have. We have to do a benchmark of successful municipal and private funding schemes, both economically, but also on regulation level. So this would be the output would also be regulations for our urban planning. So this is extremely, extremely important, because in Portugal, we don't have, well, we have one single case of an energy community, but I still considered it as a cheating, because the cheating is they are a gated community. So that's not very nice to hear. So we want to mobilize stakeholders and citizens. We want to further cooperation and workflows. We want to assess the viability of energy community here in Cascais. We want to have policies outputs. We want to have regulations outputs, and so on. And we want to share this among everybody, including other municipalities and sector partners, sector stakeholders. So this would also be made up, obviously, with a, let's call it a CAPEX, OPEX analysis, return of investment analysis. And all of them are highly replicable on other cities. So when we will implement this by 2050, we'll have a production of 213 gigawatts per year of renewable energy sources. We have an estimation of 61,000 tons a year of CO2 emissions. And we will make sure that within the European City Facility scope, obviously, we will be able, finally, after this pandemic, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We can definitely go around different regions in Portugal and share what we've learned and share the proposed regulations that we have. And why is this relevant? Because every municipality has the right, according to the most recent national law, which is by 2019, and remember, so this law is nearly 2 years old, and yet there's, I would say, not a single formal case of energy community outside a community, so a gated community. So let's say people with different elements of property. So this is something that we really want to be the first ones, and we will definitely replicate this to everybody. So my final slide is just to say that regarding the European City Facility application, we do recommend a very well-assessed proposal. We want to make sure that the sizing of investment and the emission impact is well assessed in your proposal. So in Cascais, for example, this action will cost us 250 million euros. This is the estimation of cost, which is massive. Obviously, we, the municipality, will not do the sole investment, because this is something for the whole city to do. But what we will do, according to our commitment to the European City Facility, is by the end of this period, we will have all the items necessary to go forward with this investment. So as soon as possible. And another thing that we must consider is the replication. So we hope that other cities will copy us, or on the other way around, we will learn from other cities as well. We've already engaged with a few neighboring cities that are very well aware of the challenges. So hopefully we will learn and then spit out our knowledge and try to see if it's replicated or not. Make sure that is, like I said, this is well assessed within a SECAP or other planning instrument regarding energy or sustainability or emission control or reduction. So this is crucial for everybody. And this is something that you definitely need to engage. For example, in our project, we use the carbon neutrality. Of course, we do have our SECAP, we have everything, the SDGs 2030 commitment as well, and our national commitment according to the Paris Agreement. But we should just focus on one, because that's where our action comes from. And finally, once again, the replication. So make sure this is a replicable case. We will be sure that we can use all the outputs, both in Portugal and English, so you can see what we are doing. If your country has a similar, let's call it law-abiding situation. And by that, I mean, you're just starting with energy communities. If that is the case, let us know what you think of it, and let's share our findings with it. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. Sorry if I took a bit more time.
Thanks a lot, Joao. Thanks a lot for the great presentation. Thanks for setting the EUCF competition bar pretty high with your project. I'm sure the next examples we hear will be of the same kind. Well, I know that actually. So I will pass the floor now to Ms. Victoria Avicene from the city of Visaginas, Lithuania, for her experience as a beneficiary of the first round of EUCF applications. Please, Victoria, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Greetings from Lithuania. I will share our small experience in this project, and thank you EUCF team for possibility to share our experience. I'm Victoria Baravichine from Visaginas Municipality Administration. It is. I try to share. Do you see the slides?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Visaginas is unique city in Lithuania because it was built as a city satellite of Ignalina nuclear power plant, and this region of East Lithuania is called as region of nuclear power plant. And since 2010, we have a huge challenge for the country, company, and Visaginas municipality, because in Ignalina nuclear power plant is the commission processes. And so we have, as I say, huge challenges, such as mega project experience. It is a lot negative social economical consequences. Also, municipality is deciding how to develop developed industrial infrastructure of nuclear power plant and how to retain workforce. So the strategical decision of Visaginas municipality is to transform image of municipality from nuclear energy region to green energy region, and to develop territory as energy competence center and become the first green municipality in Lithuania. The territory of Visaginas is very compact, and it could be a perfect platform for implementation of pilot ideas, know-how project. So the Council of Visaginas municipality in 2011 had approved the priority direction guidelines for economic development of municipality for 2020-2030. One of them one of them is energy, efficient consumption of all types of energy productions, and ambitious goal of municipality by 2030 is 100% energy consumption from renewable sources. So our preparation of the application to the program was based on Visaginas' choice to develop the energy sector as the main economy sector of municipality. Municipality expects impacts of investment project, first of all, developing city as sustainable energy center, and to increase energy efficiency in public infrastructure, to reduce heat energy consumptions, to minimize costs of electricity, to reduce CO2 emissions, heat costs and prices for inhabitants, and also to increase green energy potential in municipality territory. So in our application, we took three sectors, as we say, saving energy sources, transformation fossil fuels to renewable, and energy productions. So we took three projects: modernization of street lighting system and conversion of existing street lighting lamps to this in the all of city to the LED technologies. At the same time, modernization of engineering infrastructure and implementation of complex solutions. Another project, our project is investment and modernization of district heating system. As I said before, Visaginas is the city satellite of nuclear power plant, and all the time before the commission, all heating was producing from nuclear power plant, and now we have pipeline with natural gas. So it is needed to transition from natural gas to biofuel by implementing complex solutions. So we decide construct Visaginas combined heat and power plant 6.8 megawatt heat capacity and point to find electricity capacity, and also to do analysis of its potential realization in the region, first of all. And the third sector is investment to renewable energy sources. So we decide to establish the solar park in Visaginas, 10 megawatt, and to do analysis of its development possibilities also for regional inhabitants. Before preparing application to the program, as I say, we took 3 sectors, and to do some homeworks, as we say. We did analysis of municipality planning and political documents, also analysis of existing preparatory calculations documents and feasibility studies. Also, we have consultation with the program expert of Lithuania, and then we prepare the application platform and edit annexes. So, as we say, the application we filled in platform indicated how the grant resources will be allocated for the development of the investment concept. For example, Visaginas needs support of external experts, electricity market analysis for biomass, CHP, and implementation of population scheme for photovoltaic plants, and development of technical requirements, technical assistance from experts. So the municipality does not have enough competence and experience to identify and analyze and optimize technical alternatives. Therefore, the aim to use professional external experts. Also, we just described the organizational structure of municipality, roles and responsibilities of the people involved, and decision-making processes for development of the investment concept. It was described as stakeholders, such as local authorities, public institutions, civil society, and various expectations. It was, as I say, indicated the sectors touched in the investment project. It is planning three big projects with joint stock company Visagina Energia and other private business partners to create, to implement modernization of light system, building of combined heat and power plant, and creating of solar power plant in the Visaginas municipality. It was stated the intended technologies and measures. It was indicated and the expected investment size. In our case, it's about 24 million euro. And it was indicated and it's expected energy saving generated by the project. So we add some annexes. One of the annex is political documents in Lithuanian, and summary we add in English. Also letter of support, self-declaration form, calculations logs, and planning documents and calculation documents which we have had. After call was closed, we got evaluation. The following aspects are taken into account: the level of ambitions of expected size of investments, and in relations of the submitted applications in the regional code and the relation of the local context. Also, level of ambition of expected energy saving generated by planned investment project in relations or to submitted application in the regional call. A priori and robust internal organizational structure for development and of the investment concept, including clearly defined roles and the responsibility of all actors involved. And clear identification of important stakeholders and good understanding needs and expectations. Also, appropriate strategy to involve identified stakeholders of the investment consent development process, including adequate activities of engagement and alignment of the proposal with ultimate objective of programs. In our case, to build a sustainable pipeline of sustainable energy investment projects across cities in Europe by providing targeted financial, technical, legal capacity building support, and overall coherence and plausibility of all elements. So thank you for your attention, and we wish you success in your applications. Our experience is very small, as I said, but I think it's interesting for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria, for your experience. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Now we move on to our third and last beneficiaries of the first round, the experience we bring to you today, and we move to the Northern and Western Europe region with the municipality of Skarbek. And I give the floor, I think, to Giovanna, right?
Yes. Good morning.
Please, Giovanna, go ahead.
Yes, so I'm sharing the screen. First of all, I hope you can see it.
Yes, all clear.
Perfect. So thanks also very much for inviting us to present today. Thanks to the EUCF Secretariat. We're also very pleased to hear examples from other colleagues from other cities. I am Giovanna Zamburlini. I work for the municipality of Skarbek, which is one of the 19 municipalities in Brussels capital region in Belgium. We are the coordinator of the project Decarbonization Click in Brussels, also DClick Brussels, and this is what we will shortly present today. The project DClick is contributing positively to reaching the targets of the regional framework, the Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan of the Brussels capital region. It is also contributed to moving towards energy neutrality by providing a coherent financial framework to those objectives. We can also mention that both at regional and for local municipalities, there is a strong focus on public buildings, especially municipal public buildings, to accelerate the renovation and retrofitting of public buildings in general. Here, the expected impact of the project DClick by 2040, which is meant to be the end of the investment program for a final energy saving to reach 197 gigawatts per year, avoided CO2 emission close to 46,000 tons per year, and also renewable energy production adding 30 gigawatt per year with an expected investment size of 886 million for 300 public buildings. There are also different ambitious scenarios for different ambitions in the application, and DClick is particularly focusing on schools, offices, and sport centers. There is also the possibility to make a grouping of a building renovation. It's maybe also to say that this is for the 19 municipalities of Brussels capital region, not only for Skarbek. As we mentioned previously, our application is a grouping. Here, in terms of data sources for the application, it has been very important for public buildings to have access to the information on energy management by a software, EnerClick Scan, which is used by local authorities in Brussels Capital Region for energy management, and it is managed by Sibelga. I will come back to this partner just later. For building energy performance, critical key information has been provided via the energy performance building certificates, which is also a public information that all public municipalities, public authorities, they have to submit at regional level for each of their buildings. And also an important source of information has been provided by the study from an Horizon 2020 project, City Invest, which has provided the average cost per heated square meter for different scenarios. So this has helped for ambition on energy saving and investment that has been estimated in the application. So what would be used for the grant that Scarbeck and the other municipalities have received? Here it's a critical role that I mentioned previously of Sibelga. Sibelga is the energy utility, a cooperative that is providing gas and energy electricity to all the 19 municipalities in Brussels, and it is a key partner for the realization and implementation of the investment concept. Actually, all the municipalities hold an in-house control on Sibelga, and through this expert partner, a subcontractor will be hired in order to work on the investment concept. Here you can see 4 different strands of work that will be realized. It's about legal analysis, economic and financial analysis, a project portfolio, management, as well as organizational concepts. At the end, eventually what we want to achieve through this is to provide technical and administrative support to all the municipalities, as well as concrete solution for the retrofitting of buildings. About the application per se, we can mention that we got particular high score on 3 different aspects. The ambitious on investment size. As I mentioned, there are different levels of ambitious, and the plan is projected, the investment plan will be divided in 2 phases, an implementation phase between 2020 and 2040, and from between 22 and 24, and then between 2024 and 2040 for the upscaling. And here also it's really important the possibility to upscale beyond the municipal buildings to eventually envisage the retrofitting also of other regional buildings as well as social housing. And the other aspect that also other colleagues from Cascais also they have mentioned the possibility to replicate in other European cities that could also benefit from this model of calling on the support, on the external support of a provider, in this case for us it's Sibelga, that would be able to collect and provide support to different municipalities for a solution on retrofitting. The last aspect also it's the governance structure. There is also an important element about what are the different roles in the application. So especially as we are a grouping, we have made sure to mention clear responsibilities and the inclusion of a steering committee where all the different parts can be implicated and informed about the development of the investment concept in due time. key success factors that we have experienced. Really important for us, a trusted relationship with Sibelga, on which, as I mentioned, we have an in-house control. Also the partnership, the support of all 18 others municipalities in Brussels Capital Region has been key for the success of the application and also for the implementation of the investment concept, so that all we can benefit from it, as well as the support from the regional level in the application process. Also in terms of clear role, the identification at local level in our municipalities of clear responsibility for the project submission. Sometimes this can seem so obvious, but it's not. It's important to have someone that will be responsible from the beginning to the end of the process. And as well as call anticipation. It's important, especially for us, that this was the first Horizon 2020 that we won, to start well in advance, to discuss internally and to make sure that there is political or administrative support through the process. To close, as for the other applicants, so we are now busy with the development of the investment concept, and which should be approved hopefully by May 22 by the EUCF Secretariat, and then the search for EU financing or for other kind of financing will start. Thank you for listening and for your time.
Thank you very much, Giovanna, for your experience. So I see we are running a bit late, so we did have a 15-minute buffer for the meeting, which we are actually already using. So I will briefly mention a couple of things about the support to not take out too much time for your eventual questions. So let me share a couple of slides here. Okay, there we go. This is just to remind you that besides the 60K grant of the EUCF, and also for the application phase, you can count on a list of country experts in each of the eligible EUCF countries. You can find the list on the EUCF website. So please do not hesitate to engage with them and ask them for clarifications on the starting from their application process onwards. There's a dedicated help desk, as my colleagues presented today, and a website in which, and I will now start answering a couple of questions I saw in the chat, on which you can find all the templates available for your application. So there's a dedicated section of the website under the menu support, where you can find all the templates, download them, and then use the EUCF user zone after your registration to upload them. And this is to answer one of the questions I already received. We are also organizing peer and workshop exchange, and there is and there are also national association at national level to promote the initiative. We're building communities of practices, putting together beneficiaries from the different calls, which will support each other and work together on specific sectors based on their projects and their applications. We will keep on organizing capacity building events physically, hopefully soon, to also assist in the application and in the preparation of the investment concept. Once we start having the investment concept ready, the whole work with potential investors starts, and there we will organize matchmaking events. We have a dedicated investors network, and if you are an investor listening to this presentation, you can go on our website and also register to the EUCF Investor Network to have first-hand information on the investment concept that the EUCF and the beneficiary are producing within the facility. This said, and given the fact that we have less than 10 minutes left, I will renew my invitation for you to ask any question you have in the chat, and we will make sure to answer you. Control. So I will also ask my more technical colleagues to have a look at the chat. We do have a couple of technical questions, and please feel free to take the floor and answering them. There's a question about the fifth criteria of evaluation. I will start answering more generic questions like slides will be available. We will send them to you right after the webinar.
I can answer to the one question regarding the renewable energy production. So yeah, it's true that the evaluation criterion is called energy savings, but it also includes renewable energy production. So energy savings and renewable energy production are equally important, and both are assessed. So you can either provide energy savings or renewable energy production, or both. So both is possible, and you can estimate that in the calculation log, and then insert the total energy savings or renewable energy production in the full application form.
Then we do have a question about the application process. Could be the application submitted on behalf of the municipality, for example, by a consultancy company, or the municipality must be the one dealing with the application. So I don't know, Justine, if you want to answer or.
Yeah, I can answer to that. So the eligible entities to apply and to receive the EUCF support are only those that were mentioned before. So in this specific case of your question regarding the consultancy company, no, a consultancy company is not per se eligible to become an applicant. However, the grant can be used also to finance external expertise, as it is the case, for instance, in some of the examples that we have seen also presented today. So the municipality in that case must be the applicant. Then how the municipality wants to use the grant to the best, purpose fitting its goal is free to choose, which can be with in-house staff or with external expertise, as also Madeleine mentioned in her presentation.
Thanks a lot for the answer, Justino. I do not see other questions for the moment. Still have.
I can maybe take the other one because there is a question regarding if we can read the successful application from the first call. The application per se, no. So this is still confidential, will not be published. You will see the list and you will see the detail, some details about the winning applications, of course, but not the application per se, so not the form filled in.
Okay, there are some questions coming in, Justino. There's one confirming how the EUCF functions. It is meant to only support the preparation of a large energy and climate project, but not to fund them directly, isn't it? And I think that's an easy one to answer, right? And the answer is yes. So the EUCF aims at supporting you in producing your investment concept to then further scale up your investment and manage to achieve the whole investment needed for the implementation of your action. Then we have another question. How do you balance between proposals that involves a group of municipalities such as the Brussels region in terms of punctuations? It's more difficult and challenging to coordinate these proposals than a unique municipality. You want to proceed with this, Justino?
I guess that's more maybe for Madeleine, I believe.
Okay.
This one regarding the evaluation of the groupings.
Yeah, exactly. I can answer to that. So as I've presented before, we know that it's more effort to prepare applications as groupings, and it's particularly important, as we know, for small and medium-sized municipalities, and this effort is appreciated in the evaluation process, especially in the criteria investment size, and also alignment with EUCF objectives. So this is positively appreciated. And we also had several successful groupings in the first call.
Thanks, Madeleine. We do have a question about the use of the 60K fund can be used to cover both internal and external costs.
Yes, the answer is yes. So the municipality, the winning beneficiary can choose how to spend the grant. Typically eligible expenditure are those that also Madeleine pointed out in one of her first slides, carrying out technical analysis, feasibility studies, financial studies, and so on and so forth.
Then there is a question on a specific type of project. And the question is on the scale of renewable energy production. In case the scale is small due to the fact that the project is a pioneering project aiming at demonstrating the potential for future replication, would this make the application score less, or would it consider the potential to replicate in the scoring? That's a very specific case.
Yeah, I can answer to that. Yeah, we could not go into details of the evaluation criteria before due to time issues, but what is considered in the evaluation of energy savings and renewables is both the absolute numbers, so they are assessed in comparison to the other applications in the regional call, and in addition also to the local context. So for example, if a small municipality has an absolute number smaller investment size or energy savings, but in terms of the population size in comparison to it, it's ambitious. Of course, this is positively evaluated by the evaluators and taken into account, yes.
And there's a question about the feedbacks from the first call available for the second call. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. I can maybe try to answer if I get the question correctly, actually. So I believe the question is about if you can build on the feedback that you received from the first call to prepare your application for the second one. So normally all the applicants received an information about their status right after the evaluation process. This happened somewhere in December last year. So with that, you also received a feedback report in which you indeed have some feedback on your application. We actually invite to those applicants that are still interested in applying to resubmit the application to tackle the feedback that you received in the first round. So this is possible. You are eligible to do that. So you can apply as many times as you want throughout the EUCF period. However, you can only receive the grant once. So that's also something to take into account. And another thing, because we didn't mention it throughout the presentation, is also we are actually inviting you to apply, because also the funds available for the second calls are actually higher than the one of the first call. So as we said at the beginning, we funded 30 beneficiaries out of the first call. For the second one, there will be 26 in the Central Eastern Europe, 24 in the Northern West Europe, and 19 in Southern Europe.
Okay, so I would think we have few more to answer, and then I will kindly ask you not to drop any other, because you're already beyond the time limit. So we'll go with the answers to the last one. Where can anyone see a list of successful applicants to the first call, including indicators of energy savings and beneficiaries? We are about to publish them on our website. That has been recently updated with the old information, the new information regarding the second call that have been provided now. So please go and check it. Soon the list of beneficiaries will be available. Where can anyone, okay, it is possible to apply as a region for the second call while one of the municipalities applies successfully in the first call. Okay, I guess the question here is about the possibility for a region to apply if there's a beneficiary of the first round already included as well.
Yeah, maybe I can briefly answer to that. So if I understand the question correctly, a region is not eligible. So as we said, to be eligible, you have to be either a municipality, local authority, a grouping of municipality, local authorities, or a local public entity aggregating municipality and local authorities with the conditions that are set actually in the self-declaration form, where specifically it says that the regional entity is not eligible for funding. I guess with that, the question is answered. That said, if the second part of the question I interpreted in a way to say that one of the municipalities near you has already received EUCF support, you are definitely eligible again to apply and hopefully still to receive it. So there is no condition to say that a certain number of municipalities within a country or a region are only eligible for EUCF support. Only the same entity can receive the support only once throughout the life of the EUCF.
And the last question I have, it's again about the 60,000 euro grant. Is that intended to cover all the costs for development of the investment concept, or could the municipality cover additional costs in case 60K is not enough?
Do you want me to take this one as well? Yeah, this is definitely, the answer is yes. So the 60K, we also are very aware that it's a limited amount of funds. So if this supports a process, for instance, it's already ongoing in your municipality, if it's a much bigger project and you need, this step to develop an investment concept or a part of it, and then would lead to something else much bigger, you can definitely do that. There is no condition around that. So it's also to say it's not an obligation to actually co-finance, let's say, the 60K.
Okay, see, just the last question just dropped in, so maybe we can take it regarding EU Island ECF. So can EU Island municipality apply for the EUCF grant?
Yes, so the answer is yes, as long as you are a municipality, local authority, grouping, or a local public entity aggregating municipalities and local authority, and you fulfill the other criteria. I see that my colleague also, Francisco, pointed out that we have indeed quite an extensive document called Guidelines for Applicants, which is available on our website, where the answer to most of these questions are actually described in greater detail. And you also find in that document all the annexes and all the explanations of the different categories that we have presented today. So I really invite you also to look at those documents, and in case you have questions, to refer to your country expert as well, or to the central team.
Once again, I think maybe just you can clarify the application by region, because I see there is a mention to a question in the chat once again, and we want to make sure that it's not misunderstood there, right?
Yes.
It's applied as a region, so that's not the case.
Yeah. So the region, a regional entity, let's say, per se, is not eligible. If with the region you are referring to a grouping of municipalities or local authorities, this is eligible. And it can be, as Madeleine also pointed out in her presentation, a formal or informal grouping, meaning that it can also be a grouping just formed for the purpose of applying for the EUCF, or it's a more structural group. Then we also have the other category where we refer to local public entities that are aggregating municipalities and local authorities, still considered as a tier of local government, different, however, from a regional or a provincial one. So also look into that category to see actually if the entity that you represent or that you have in mind to prepare your application could eventually fit into that. We also have some FAQs as well on the website, and we have for these specific entities, these local public entities, also some examples from the different member states or the different eligible countries, to be more precise, where we pointed out a few names of those that could be potentially eligible. But the region, again, I want to underline, so if you are a region, as a regional entity, you are not eligible for the EUCF support.
Thanks a lot, Giustino. Here, a quick clarification again. FAQs will be available as of today or tomorrow with the updated version answering to the new eligibility criteria of the second call of EUCF. So please be a little patient there to have them online. Okay, I think we can close the meeting now. Call is open for the next 2 months. Please remember website for all the information, help desk, country expert for national assistance and clarifications, and reach out to us in case you need anything. Good luck with the application.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.